It became part of every winning process in competitive sports since I was a teenager, the male erection. Well, not a day goes by without it anymore, and since I came in touch with it the first time, it became some sort of a passion, or better, an addiction. Well, I guess some of you guys might have already experienced it. Just while thinking of a lovely person or of the process all of you guys love, I know that, we can see a big or sometimes less big reaction in our bodies. Well, of course, the male erection is one of the best examples for the power of our thoughts, for the mental influence. We can also change our mood, the grade of happiness, for example, or our blood pressure, all that just with the power of our thoughts. Isn't that great? So, of course, I'm not talking about any nasty things. I'm trying to keep it serious today, even it's going to be a little difficult. But I'm talking about that, feeling of winning. I'm talking about that emotion of becoming the champion in a certain discipline. So I brought a few pictures with me that I really want to share with you today. I just want to say, let's go ahead and have a look at the first picture. This right here is me when I was 5 years old, actually learning a few basics in gymnastics. In 1993, I started my competitive career. And this right here is me when I was 17 years old, after having won the gold medal at the European Championships on high bar of juniors. I also won the bronze medal at all-around competition and another gold with the team. A very historical moment because we have never been able to beat the strong competitors from Russia. So, with this moment, a dream became reality. But it was actually more than just a dream. It was exactly the situation that I designed and created in my head years before. So when I was maybe 14 years old, I used to go to bed in the evenings, I closed my eyes, and I started to create a picture in front of my closed eyes, standing on the very top, wearing the national team shirt, having the gold medal hanging around my neck, and holding one arm up high just like that. So it took a few years to understand that there might be a connection between the thoughts that we create in our heads and the reality that we do receive at the end. So as I said, it took a few years, and I was searching for answers for all my questions, and I hit upon something that has changed lots of things. So I hit upon quantum physics, and especially the double slit experiment. But I don't want to bore you with all this science stuff today because I've been talking to one of my friends lately, and he actually is working as a professor for chemistry at the university, and he told me that, this topic is so complex, it might not to be understood at all because there's so many things, would be too hard to explain that today. But I tried to give you a daily example to show you that main idea of quantum physics. So are there any guys in here who are in a relationship right now? Oh yeah, I can see a few, poor you. This could be also dedicated to all the guys in here who have ever been in a relationship. I guess all you have good or bad memories. Well, for me, I'm not in a relationship right now, but I do remember that there is that scary moment every morning when you wake up, you open your eyes, you look beside and see your girlfriend. Positively or negatively, this is not the fact. I'm just talking about that moment when you do not really know if this is really true, right? So if you're still in love with what you see, then you can really announce yourself lucky. But if you want to change maybe just a little something, then I've got a great technique for you. Well, I will not ask you right now if you want to learn this technique because that might involve smaller problems for you this night. So I'm just going to tell you anyway. Imagine you're laying next to your girlfriend late night and you're not 100% satisfied with what you see. There's a simple technique you can use. What you got to do is just close your eyes and start to create a picture of the girlfriend you want to see. So maybe you want to see her with blonde hair, or you want to see her a little thinner, or with the dream masses of 120, 60, 90. You create a picture in front of your closed eyes, a picture in color, a picture in brightness, and then you create an emotion. How would that feel like when, that situation became reality? So, of course, you're going to sleep. The next morning will come. You will open your eyes again, same procedures every day. You will have a look at your girlfriend. And to be honest, nothing would have changed. But why is that? It's actually not because it's not possible. This is not the fact. It's just because the probability of receiving the same event, the same result as every day is much higher than receiving something totally different. So if we talk about quantum physics today, we need to focus on two main aspects. First, we've got to make clear decisions. And second, we've got to increase the probability of a certain event that we want to reach. So we increase the probability of an event that we want to reach while working on it, while talking about it with friends or colleagues, while visualize it, while motivating ourselves. And then it comes to the moment of the decision. The moment when you wake up in the morning, for example, when you are in a competition or in an important talk with one of your company members. But unless we have made a clear decision in terms of quantum physics, nothing is real, but all is probable. It only depends on the height of the probability. So that visualization technique became part of my life since I was a teenager, and not a day goes by without it anymore. So in the beginning of this year, I made an invention that should make it possible for everybody a little more easily to follow your personal dreams. But to explain that, let me give you another little example. I guess all of you guys have experienced that just at least once in your lives. You hear a song that you haven't heard for years, or you smell a perfume that you haven't smelled for years, maybe the perfume of an ex-partner. Within milliseconds, experiences, emotions, pictures, they come up into our conscious experience. We call that phenomenon Anker Ring. That happens every day, but we can use that in mental training as well. So what I did was I invented the worldwide first jewelry, including that Anker Ring technique, and that one is called the Anker Ring. Well, as you can see, there's that symbol on the top. There's another symbol on the bottom of that ring, and what we do with this ring is to create a very clear picture of the situation we want to reach. We do that in brightness and color. We create a very intense emotion, and then we connect it with two of the fingertips of the other hand, giving a gentle pressure on that ring and bringing ourselves into a targeted and aware condition. We can use that to bring ourselves into a really targeted condition to make the right decisions that we need to positively influence our future. And this is actually what we are talking about today. We're not only talking about quantum physics, we do talk about changing our reality. We do talk about positively changing our future. So why not? Let's have a look at my future. And I brought another picture with me. Let's just have a look at it. Well, this could be me maybe in 1 or 2 hours after having beaten up by one of you girls in here for telling you this great changing your girlfriend technique. This maybe could also be me after having asked Sarah Nuro for her number later. I hope that event is pretty low in its probability. Brought another picture with me. This could be me maybe in 1.5 years, 2 years after I became super rich, just hanging out on my boat, maybe at the coast of France with a lovely girl, but actually having many more muscles than this guy, of course. Or this could be me while playing as a DJ in front of thousands of people. Well, I'll be the one on stage, not the one in the crowd, right? Hope the probability of that event is much higher. I brought another picture with me, and that one is dedicated to all the lovely girls in here. I've already seen a few, and yeah, I brought a picture of my bedroom with me. Well, you're right, it's a little bit embarrassing that I'm telling you this, but I'm actually living in a very small apartment, just having a bedroom, small living room, bathroom, kitchen, you know, that's it. But in my bedroom, I'm following another passion. There's so much space for lots of breathtaking moments, for such an inspiring creativity, for such an energy, right? So yeah, just have a look at the picture. Well, I didn't want to confuse you, but as you can see, there's not really lots of space for any women in there. but the singers that I invite to record songs with me. It was maybe 1.5 years ago when I made another important decision in my life to throw out the bed out of my bedroom to create a little music home studio in there. What I did with that decision was to increase the probability of another dream that I have, to increase the probability of becoming a DJ and producer again. I think this is very important today when we talk about to make really clear decisions, right? So we're not only talking about this quantum physics thing, clear decisions and probabilities, we do also talk about priorities. And this is actually the reason why this picture is dedicated to all the girls in here. So if your boyfriend doesn't open his eyes in the mornings anymore because he keeps visualizing you in another appearance, then I've got a very good advice for you. Please break up, go for another man, because he does not deserve you at all. Isn't that a great picture? You know what I find interesting is that we as humanity do still believe that our existence does end at the border of our skins. Well, let us take the Earth as an example. We have already learned in school that the globe is surrounded by certain atmospheres. And even if they reach up to kilometers far into the space and we can't see them anymore because there are no gases anymore, they still exist. But we as human beings do still believe that our existence ends at the border of our skins. So it's not a secret that our body is surrounded by different fields as well. Thermal fields, for example, magnetic fields, mental fields. And I think that we are all connected to everything and everyone through those fields and also through quantum physics. So let's go back to that for the moment. All of you guys are going to work every day. All of you guys are going to study every day. And if you still love what you do every day, then you should not make any other decisions. But if you're not 100% satisfied with what you do every day, then you should make a clear decision and bring something to the change. I think all of we have millions of chances every day. We can wake up in the morning, we can break up with our partner if we're not 100% satisfied anymore. We can quit our job and go for another one. We can easily book a flight and travel around the world. It only depends on the height of that event that we want to reach, right? So the probability of receiving the same things as every day is much higher than the probability of doing something totally different, but that doesn't mean that it's impossible, right? So I think the biggest challenge for us is to be courageous enough to dream about the life we want to live in. The biggest challenge is to open ourselves for new horizons. You know, I do believe that our thoughts have a deeper influence on our daily existence. I do believe that our attitude can change all the circumstances in life. And I do believe that if your partner does look so mean at you in the mornings, then he knows exactly what you're thinking about. Thank you very much.